Hey, welcome back everybody, and today you guys get to meet my new friend, AVA. Hey everyone, and yes, this is AVA, the Advanced Versatile Aviation Joystick base from Thrustmaster. And to be upfront with you guys, Thrustmaster did send this to me for purposes of content creation and to share their new base with all of you guys. So a big thank you to Thrustmaster for sending this to me so I could demo it for you guys. So just want to be upfront with that for everybody. Alright, so what is AVA? AVA is a new joystick base that can be either a replacement for a bad Warthog base or as an upgrade to a Warthog base. And it is compatible with both the Hornet grip as well as the Warthog/Viper grip. And again, it replaces the standard Warthog base that has been a staple of the Thrustmaster Warthog for many years now. So the big difference is the Warthog base is based on a spring and gimbal ball assembly inside here, and it's not very well, aside from changing out the springs and maybe putting a little bit of nile gel grease inside there, it's not very there's not much you can do with this as far as customization. That's where AVA comes in, and the base on these is based around cams and roller bearings with various springs that you can install to totally customize how it feels whenever you're using it. And it is totally customizable to have a simulated feel like a fighter jet, an airliner, general aviation, or even spaceflight sims. So it works with all of that. Alright, so let's open it up and take a peek at what's inside the box. Alright, so included in the box is the actual base itself, a 6-foot USB-C cord, and what I like about this is it's a detachable USB-C. This is what they used on the Viper throttle that they released last year as well. And a couple of reasons I like this is, one, if you trip over it, ideally the connector just pops out and you just carry on, you plug it back in and carry on. But it's not attached to the base like it was on the Warthog. Also, if this isn't long enough for you, you can always just go out and buy a longer USB cord, as long as it's got USB-A on one end and USB-C on the other end. So really nice, I like that. Also is included hardware, including tools. This is awesome. I like it when hardware manufacturers include tools in order to change any of the options available on this. In here also is various springs that are color-coded, cam plates, also have included documentation, instructions, warranty card, some promotional material, and your member card. And lastly, we also have masking rings that came with this. This is kind of neat, and I'll touch on these now. So if you look, you see the black ring that's just inside the main collar here. What these do is that limits the amount of travel, maximum travel that the stick can move. So if movement is a concern, or you just want it to move less or more, by default the largest one is installed, so it has the full range of movement. Alright, let's go get this set up. Alright, so here is the AVA mount mounted onto a side plate onto my flight seat. I did not center mount it like I do with the Warthog base that you see just behind this. So I know the Warthog can use an extension quite easily. I don't know about this one as much. I didn't see anything in the manual for it, so I'm not going to use it that way. I will use it the normal way. Now, I do want to mention on the mounting thing, this uses M4 screws to secure it down to whatever you're mounting it on. Now, if you buy just the base, it will not come with the screws, only because they pretty sure Thrustmaster does not know what it's going to get mounted to, whether it's going to be a plate like this is being in about an 1/8 inch thick, or in a home cockpit that could be using like 3/4 inch medium density fiberboard, or anything in between. So like I said, this thing uses M4 screws, and they can't screw in any more than 8 millimeters into the base. So what I did was I took some of my M4 mounting screws that my flight seat came with, and I just stacked a couple of nuts on there just to make sure that this would not protrude too far into the base. And we're going to take this off so you guys can see why that is. And speaking of that, again, I'll mention it, it's really awesome that it comes with the tools that you need in order to make any adjustments, any and all adjustments. So first step, based on the manual, is to take the tension out of the springs, and you have one for the pitch axis and one for the roll axis. So do that, and then it's these 4 screws right there on top. They're colored silver. You don't have to take off this ring unless you're changing out the masking ring, and we'll take a peek at that underneath as well. Alright, so this is where you make all of your adjustments. Alright, so I put the light on, and inside you can see the cam plate and the springs. This one is for the pitch axis. Let me move the camera. And then you get the other cam plate for the roll, the roll axis, as well as its spring. Now, right here on top, this little black bit right here, that's a damper, that's a pitch damper, so it helps damp out, especially around the center point. There's another one for pitch as well. And again, this is all completely adjustable. You can change out the cam plates, you can change out the springs. The springs are color coded. So what comes in this right out of the box is you have the jet cam plates installed, as well as the strongest springs. And here on top you can also see these adjustment screws for the spring tensions themselves, so it's fully adjustable. Alright, so if we look underneath, there's a circuit card down there, and you got some of the mechanism as well. This is why you can't put screws in that are too long. You could damage something inside. But I do like the construction of this. This is pretty darn solid feeling. It's 1/4 inch thick aluminum, steel fasteners. This is pretty solid. I really like this. It looks like there's a good amount of roller bearings inside here as well. It's looking really nice. Alright, and as I mentioned, the masking ring, this is the inside of the top cover, and this black ring right here where my thumb is, that is the masking ring, and it comes with 3 different ones. By default, out of the box, the largest aperture is installed, and then you can install the masking rings that are smaller to limit the throw. Alright, here on the forward side we got a couple of things. This is the USB-C connection. We have an LED light and a push button. And I point this out because anytime that you change a major component, like you change one of the tension springs, change the cam plate, or the masking ring, anytime you make a change, once you put power on the base, what you'll have to do is push and hold that little button, and the LED light will light up, letting you know that this is in calibration mode. So this thing will self-learn the new limits of its travel, so it can report the proper positions to your simulator of choice. And that's all done right here. You don't have to do it through Windows, which is really nice. So you hit that button, puts it in cal mode, you wait for the lights to flash. This is all very well detailed in the manual. Once it's in calibration mode, you hit the button again so that it learns where the center point of the stick is, and then you push the button again so it knows that, and then you move the stick forward, aft, left, and right to the full extent of its travel so it knows the limits of its travel. Really neat. I like that feature. Alright, let's go ahead and put the lid on. It just lines up just like that. Alright, Now putting the stick on this thing is pretty easy. It's just like the Warthog base. Normally you would have a yellow arrow on the back of your grip. I think on the Warthog I just wore that one off over time through use. This one I think I just peeled off. But you would just line up the arrows. Be very careful with that bottom connector so you don't risk bending the pins. Make sure it's seated and tighten up the collar. Initial impressions? I like this. This is feeling pretty good. You don't feel a center detent, but it naturally wants to go to a center detent. It just wants to center itself up. And you get a little bit of rebound from the springs. Perfectly normal. But I like this already. Given that this is now mounted as a side stick on my chair, I can't think of a better aircraft to test this out than the one in DCS that actually does indeed have a side stick, the F-16C Viper. Alright, here we are in the F-16C Viper, and I'm already liking the feel to this. I increased the tension already on both the springs, so I get a little bit of a stiffer feel out of the joystick. And looking back at my horizontal stabs there, alright. Nice and smooth. I get a limited amount of downward on the ground here. Alright. Let's go ahead and take this thing off and see how this thing flies. Full burner. Half stick. Nose up, control the nose rise. Even with the shorter throw, remember I'm used to using the an extension on the Warthog stick, and even though this doesn't have an extension, the precision is really nice.
Altitude.
And yes, I'm going in the Buzzer Tower. I hope they don't get too mad.
Altitude. Pull up.
This thing feels... I am really liking the feel of this stick. Like, this has some force to it that does not exist on the Warthog. So the Warthog is a very linear feel. You get one set tension throughout the entire travel. This is, you get, it doesn't feel as tight in the middle, but the more you push, the more tension that you feel. And that's just how I have this set up so far. And I really like it. You know, you have to pull harder if you want to pull more. And you get like a natural feedback. I gotta say, I think you guys are really gonna like this. This is the real deal. The spring force feels nice. The range of movement's nice. All the controls in this, at least in the Viper's case, it's nice one-to-one. I really like the Warthog. This takes Warthog to a whole nother level. It's hard to put into words. Like, the feel of this stick is just amazing. Alright, so that's the Viper. Let's see how this thing performs with something that isn't fly-by-wire. Alright, here we are in the Phantom. Definitely not a fly-by-wire aircraft. Let's see, 3 units nose down, flaps are down. Alright, we're good. Let's throttle up and let's get this beast off the ground. Brakes off. Power.
Engine's good. Airspeed's coming alive.
Half stick.
80 knots. Okay, 100 knots.
Let's control the nose rise. It's starting to come off the ground. Airborne.
Gears moving. Flaps up. Gear up.
Thanks, Jester. The feedback that you get from the springs, like the more you pull, the more tension that the springs give, and that's nice for that tactile feedback to your hand. So you know, you get an idea of how hard that you're pulling on the stick, and it will hit a physical stop if you bring it all the way, and that's pretty typical. The spring force that you feel is really nice. All right, now let's check out how this thing responds with precision maneuvering. Now, I'm using, like I said, I'm using it just like it is out of the box. The strong springs, the jet cams, a little more tension on the springs, and I'm not using any curves within DCS.
Nice. That's going to put our thirst out.
Nice. The precision.
You're drifting aft. Careful, you're about to fall off.
Thanks, Chester. Even
easy with it.
Alright. That's my positioning with the throttle there. I gotta say, with the precision of this for doing such tight maneuvering like that, even without an extension on this like I did with the Warthog, the precision is there. I'm not having to move this very much. It feels natural. And it feels really smooth and really good. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm really, really liking this base. This thing is a real winner. Alright everybody, that is an excellent joystick base and is definitely a very, very nice upgrade if you're using a Warthog base. And like I mentioned, it is compatible with either of the two grips that can go on a Warthog base, so that being the Hornet grip or the Warthog/Viper grip. It can fit on a Warthog plate. There's mounting holes on the bottom for this. Be careful if you reuse the screws. Like I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that they are not too long. As I understand it, this base can come with its own plate. There is also a magnetic base available for it that you can stick it to a steel surface. There is also a 5 centimeter extension for it available already. That is from Thrustmaster, so it's a 5 centimeter extension. And the nice thing with the extensions is you can move it doesn't have to stay straight with the base. It can move relative to the base, so that it can match the natural angle of your hand. Pretty good whenever you're center mounting the stick. Later this summer, as I understand from Thrustmaster, they will be bundling the AVA base with a grip. I believe it'll come with a Hornet grip, if I'm not mistaken. So look out for that if you guys are in the market for a new joystick or looking to upgrade your hardware. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, a big thank you to Thrustmaster for sending this so I could showcase it and do a demo for you guys. I'll definitely be featuring this in future videos as well. So with that, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.